A person is just the product of their habits. That means if you have broke people habits, chances are you're probably broke. If you have millionaire habits, chances are you're probably a millionaire. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck and you're dreaming of financial freedom, it all starts with habits. So today I'm sharing 5 habits that allowed me to become a millionaire by 24. Keep in mind, I didn't build these habits overnight. It took years of trauma, failure, sadness, and being in a really dark place. But ultimately, that's what I needed to become a monster. Hopefully this video will help you build these habits and incorporate them into your life without having to go through the struggle that I went through. These habits are great to know, but unless you take action to turn them into meaningful change, they're just gonna stay ideas in your head. The first habit that made me a millionaire was setting clear and specific goals, financial or otherwise. The first one treads a little bit into the spiritual realm. Some people like to call it visualization. When I was younger, I called it manifestation, but there's something really powerful about setting clear and specific goals. There's almost a spiritual component to it, and that's why I have to bring it up. Back in 2015, when I was broke, one thing I used to do was write all of my goals on a little sticky note and post it on my wall. They weren't vague like become a millionaire, they were super specific. They had the exact number amount and the way I was planning on achieving that goal. A big reason people fail is because they just have goals with no direction, and a goal without direction is just a goal that you spend your entire life looking for. Instead, my goals were written very clearly and very specifically. When I was selling cars, one of the goals that was written on my wall on a little sticky note was make $100,000 in 1 year by selling cars. Later, that evolved into make $1 million in 1 year by starting an online social media marketing business. Once that image plays over and over again in your head, your actions start to reflect that and you start to manifest these things into reality. When you can see it so clearly, reality has no choice but to catch up, and that's what tends to happen. That's why you see all of these successful people talking about visualization, writing down your goals, or manifestation. One caveat to this before we move on to the next one. Your goals can't just be specific and clear, they also have to have a time frame attached to them. That way you have a little bit of urgency and you don't push them to the side. When you can clearly see your goals in your head, you know how you plan on achieving them, and you give yourself a timeline, you typically stay more motivated as well. Having a clear idea of what you want is crucial for success. Habit number 2, exercise. Whenever I tell people this, they usually think, Renee, are you crazy? What does exercise have to do with me making money? And the reason I stress exercise is because getting rich, becoming a millionaire isn't easy. It requires discipline, willpower, and hard work. And what better way to get that than through exercise? Someone who can go to the gym 5 days a week is usually willing to work harder than a lot of people. That's typically why you see a lot of competitive athletes excel in business, because it requires the same elements. For me, I was a scrawny kid and going to the gym made me really uncomfortable. Not only that, just getting off my ass and finding the willpower to go was a struggle for me. There's nothing worse than paying for a gym membership just to go and torture yourself for an hour every single day. But what this does for your willpower and your discipline is amazing. It strengthens not only your body, but it strengthens your mind. And in life, this is key to success. On top of that, you train your mind to see results when you put in the work. One of the hardest parts about becoming a millionaire is putting in all of this work and not seeing any results, because you can easily get discouraged. But when you exercise, you can see results pretty fast. And when you train your mind into thinking that work equals results, you'll typically work harder because you know the result or the prize is coming. And the cherry on top of all of that, when you have a healthy body, you also have more energy, which in the long run helps you make more money as well. Making exercise a habit is the easiest and most actionable step you can take into building discipline and willpower. The same discipline and willpower you need when it comes to making $1 million, whether it's starting a business or just putting in that extra amount of work. Habit number 3, organization and creating a to-do list. For as long as I could remember, one of the most powerful habits I've had is writing down a to-do list of everything I needed to get done. Even to this day, I have all of these notebooks where I write down exactly what I need to do, when I need to do it, and usually it helps keep me organized and get things done. In fact, I have about a dozen of these that date back all the way to 2014 with thousands of tasks that I needed to do. I essentially documented my entire business building process from zero, making no money, to becoming a millionaire, all in these notebooks. What I would do is take 30 minutes every night to write down a list of things I had to get done the next day. I would also reflect and cross off all the things I accomplished that day. That would help me organize things I finished and things I still need to do. And once you start crossing things off that list, it usually gives you a clear picture of what you have to do next, so you always have direction in your life. What I would do is I would look at all the tasks I had to do the next day, and I would prioritize them from hardest to easiest. And the reason I did that is because as human beings, our willpower is limited. Whenever we wake up in the morning, we have a finite amount of willpower. So I wanted to get the hardest, most productive tasks finished early. From there, I would finish all the other tasks and then repeat the process the next day. By getting into the habit of creating an action plan and sticking to it, I was able to be productive and efficient every single day. Because becoming a millionaire isn't an overnight thing, it takes days, weeks, months, even years of hard work and effort. If you accomplish something every single day, no matter how small it is, eventually you're gonna get there. A big mistake a lot of people make is starting their day with no direction. And because we have limited energy, limited willpower, by the time they sort everything out and figure out what they have to do for the day, they're finished, they're already tired. I would go into every day with purpose, and purposeful action is 10 times more effective than meaningless hustle. Habit number 4, experiment. One of the most underrated habits is experimentation. Part of the game of financial success is trying as many things as possible until you finally succeed with one, because one is all it takes to become a millionaire. If you watch any of my other videos, I'm sure you've heard this already, but for me, I experimented with a lot of different things. I tried flipping cars, I tried real estate, I tried stocks, before I finally stumbled on social media marketing and then e-commerce. The faster you try as many things as possible, the faster you find what you're good at, and more importantly, the faster you find things that make money. To this day, even though I'm already rich, I still experiment as much as possible with my existing businesses. Even though we're already making a ton of money with Facebook ads, I still experiment with Snapchat ads, TikTok ads, affiliate marketing, because you never know where your next gold mine is and what's gonna make you more money. You have to get in the habit of trying things because you don't really know what's gonna work. Most of the time you'll fail, but that's okay because all it takes is one success and all of those failures will be worth it. When we're kids, we spend a lot of our time trying to figure out how the world works. But at some point, we get set in our ways and we stop experimenting, we stop being curious, and we stop looking at ways to conquer the world. As we get older, we start to get set in our ways. And this is why a majority of people are stuck in 9-to-5 jobs that they hate, because at some point, they stop trying to figure out how money works, how businesses work, how life works. So that's why you have to experiment. Habit number 5 is reading and learning. Our brains are amazing because they can hold an unlimited amount of information, and reading is like a gym for your brain. I spent years of my life reading and learning as much as I could, and eventually all of that knowledge started to get applied in different aspects of my life, financial-wise, fitness-wise, romance-wise. The reason I also include learning and not just reading is because reading isn't the only way to fill your brain with useful information. In today's world, we have YouTube, Google. Pretty much all of the information on there can make you an expert at any field. There's a saying that goes, the more you learn, the more you earn. And from my experience, this is 100% true. When you think about it, reading is just downloading information from someone who has decades of expertise and experience. But instead of having to do all of the research yourself and go through all of the hardship yourself, you are just downloading it from someone else. You're learning from their decades of work and their decades of experience. When you look at the world, all of the amazing things we have, like skyscrapers, social media, Wi-Fi, they're all built on the knowledge of those who came before us. And if you want to be great, you have to start learning from them as well. That's why there are more millionaires now than ever in history, because the internet has essentially allowed anyone to get information. It's spread information to anyone who wants it, so people are learning how to get rich more and more. You have to fill your brain with information in order to win. These habits are powerful. By setting clear and specific goals, you're able to visualize where you want to be and how you can get there. By exercising, you're training your mind to build the discipline and willpower you need to achieve your goals. By being organized and creating a to-do list, you're making sure that every single day you're getting closer and closer to your goals and you're staying on track. By experimenting, you're finding different ways to make money and achieve results. And by reading, you're filling your brain with information that's passed on from decades of research and experience and hard work. A person is a product of their habits, and when you combine all these habits, you become a person that cannot be stopped. These are the habits that made me a millionaire at 24. I wonder how fast it'll get you there. Until then, love you guys.